Hello everybody, welcome back to the next episode of my SnowRunner hard mode playthrough. I found ourselves in the White Western Star. Driver's having a little sleep. We are going to do the contract from Husky Forwarding for cargo from the ship, which is to come down through this track and collect some 4-slot cargo containers. Need to collect 2 of them and get them back to Smithfield Dam. And just before recording this episode, I've already got one of them recovered, and it's on a ramped flatbed parked in our little utility T-junction that I've got set up. So what I'm going to do is get the other one. I use the White Western Star, and I got it off camera just in the interest of trying to get as much done as I can in the episode. Because what I'm hoping to be able to do, and we'll see if it's successful or not, is use the White Western Star with one trailer to take one of the cargoes and tow the other trailer with the other cargo via the winch. So I'm going to see if I can set up a little road train that is 2 trailers long. Most of the route, once we get it out of here, most of the route is basically road or dry soil. So most of the route shouldn't be too bad. There's a couple of bits where I'm probably going to end up dropping the winch, taking one trailer across, and maybe get the other one as a separate. But we'll see. But that's the intent, is to try and do a road train with both trailers. So if that sounds interesting, stick around. The other thing worth mentioning at the start of the episode is I think and hope that I owe the developers an apology. I've spoken previously a few episodes ago now, and I have been trying to ignore it, about the sound glitch that I've been getting, a bit of an audio glitch where it's less obvious to other people. It's probably because I'm playing it and headphones on, hearing everything, and kind of focused on it maybe in a way that isn't obvious if you might be watching this on a computer in the background while you're playing another game or something, which is what this type of content tends to be used for. So the audio glitch was you change gear and then there'd be a really fast 5-loop repetition of changing gear, and I've been complaining about it and complaining about it and complaining about it, and then in the last couple of days I have basically ruled out SnowRunner as being the cause of it. So developers, not that I expect developers to be hanging out on a channel as small as mine, but developers, I am sorry. You do not deserve the irritation that I have felt and maybe cast in your direction. And the reason I believe that, and I hope it's true, this is a bit of a play test to find out, is that in between the last couple of episodes that I've recorded, I went off and played a little bit of Space Engineers, which is another game that I love, because Space Engineers had a new DLC drop this week, which is exciting to me as a Space Engineers fanboy. And in Space Engineers I was getting an identical audio glitch, so obviously it's not this game. So yeah, apologies, I was wrong. And the research I've done, and I think I've come to the root cause of it, seems to be linked to a signal problem with the Elgato capture card that I'm using, and can often be caused by a difference in the audio sampling bit rate. So maybe the game is sending at 48 kilohertz to the capture card, but the OBS software might be capturing at, say, 44 point something kilohertz, and that's quite a common cause of it. I ruled all of that out and did loads of messing around with settings, and then I read something on a Reddit post that suggested it might be a cable quality problem. So I swapped all my cables one at a time, and the one that seems to have the best effect is the USB-C cable that comes with the Elgato. Is pretty poor quality, and I've swapped it for a really quite expensive, decent USB-C higher bandwidth rated cable, and so far so good. I've played probably 4 hours in SnowRunner on my other save, just purely to test it. I don't want to do off-camera stuff testing it on this save, and about 4 or 5 hours in Space Engineers, and so far so good. It isn't glitching, or it hasn't glitched that I've noticed, and it was getting so bad that I couldn't play for 5 minutes without it glitching, and if anything, Space Engineers was even worse. So it's a bit disappointing on Elgato's part that they ship, because the other thing I found when I got that device is that the device I'm using is a 4K pass-through 1080p capture card. It's because I play on a 4K monitor, but I don't have a good enough capture PC to cope with 4K capture. So it's a 4K pass-through. And Elgato supply a HDMI cable in the box with the capture card, and that won't pass through 4K. So basically, the two cables that come with the Elgato capture card, you might as well throw them away. They're useless. So hopefully, I've got a resolution to my audio issue, and everything is groovy from now on, and I can stop talking about it. But so in this episode, this will be a bit of a play test to make sure that it works. You may be wondering why I picked it up here and also loaded it. There are two red containers down on the beach, and I don't know whether they would count as being the type of container I need for this, but I just auto loaded it because I want to get on with the episode, and I didn't fancy taking this truck and trailer down into that mud and having to turn it around on the beach. So I've done this drive once before, and it is a little bit difficult to get past this first 50 meters. Once you get past that, you're not too bad. But this first bit, you know, you can see there, you're dragging that trailer around corners that it doesn't really want to go around. And especially the one that's currently on sort of just to the right of my truck. At the moment, that's a difficult corner to get around. So I'm going to use a winch from there to there, because I want to be as far left as I can on this corner. I've thought about which trucks to use for this particular part, and I've decided because it's not wet and muddy that the Pacific would probably struggle, because the Pacific's that bit bigger, and I think the White Western Star's got a little bit more horsepower. So yeah, hopefully this is the right truck to try and do this job with. It got out the first time. It's just a little bit of a faff to get it out, because it doesn't want to come past that rock that I'm currently stuck on. That's probably not the right winch point either, so maybe I'll focus on getting the trailer past to start with. And then try and do my turn and get the truck moving. Then if I can get the trailer onto this tree, trying to get the trailer as far left as I can, because it does not like coming up over that rock. The back wheels of the trailer are off the ground now, so that's skating on the trailer's belly basically. Let's get a trailer's view perspective. Yeah, so you can see the trailer's just hanging in the air at the minute. But if I drop the winch and take the winch point from this end, just gives you that forward angle that gives the winch a chance to help you. And the other advantage, although I didn't need it in the first trailer, the other advantage of this is that I'm using a vehicle that's got a crane on it, so if I do have a mishap and tip the trailer, which is entirely possible. Easy. Easy. That's the hardest part of the recovery. Getting past that little double S bend through the tight rocks. I even thought about bringing the twin steer down. I thought that could be an interesting way to try and do this, but then I decided that there's no way it's, especially without all-wheel drive, that it's going to get around that tight corner because the turning circle on it isn't great. I nearly brought it down. The reason I had the twin steer in my head was I thought I could bring it down and then get them out like I am now with a trailer on the White Western Star, and then on the road transfer one of the cargoes to the twin steer, 4th block bed, and the other cargo on a trailer, and then for the twin steer it's basically all road all the way home, and it would be fine with that. It doesn't need all-wheel drive for the drive back through Smithfield Dam. And I got the twin steer out the garage thinking I would do that, and then I realised, luckily before I left the garage area because I was testing it up there, that the twin steer can't tow a trailer, which I feel is a bit harsh. I could have winched a trailer the way I'm going to be doing one now, but I just didn't see the point in driving all the way down through the dam with that. I wanted to do it just to use the twin steer for something. It could have carried one of the cargoes, no problem, but it can't tow a trailer properly, and I just didn't want to mess with winching with it, so I'll just stick to plan and drive this one. And if I had a 5-slot semi-trailer nearby, I would transfer one of these cargoes to that, because I think that would tow more nicely than towing 2 of these red ramped flatbeds. But again, I haven't got a trailer near me, and I'm trying to, I could have moved one off can, but I'm trying to be a little bit fuel efficient to finish out Michigan without running out of fuel. Without having to buy fuel, more to the point. We're pretty good for money at the minute. Got more money than sense, because I'm already looking at the truck store and thinking, oh, I've got money now, maybe I should just buy a truck, but no decision yet on what I will buy next. Right, so this is going to be another one that's a bit challenging. Not too bad, it's just challenging enough that it's worth a little bit of thought. Once a truck's on the flat bit, that is the end of it, end of the struggles. But at the moment, the struggle is real. That trailer to that tree. Just give us a boost up, please, Mr. Tree. I kind of prefer, in that scenario, I prefer towing off the trailer anyway, the winching off the trailer, because it gives you more control over the truck without it being pulled away from your steerage inputs by a winch. So the fact that you can winch from a trailer is really handy, if not particularly immersive. Right, so there's the road just ahead of us, or track just ahead of us. We will cut across this little bit of water and hang a left. Once we finish this delivery of these 2 cargo containers, we have only got the cement delivery plus the logging, which I think I'm probably going to do, to be honest. I know it adds episodes before I can get to Alaska, but I think I'm going to do it. It's the completionist in me would feel a bit wrong moving ahead without completing those contracts. So at some point in the future, in the near future, there'll be a Pacific P16 logging episode, maybe episodes, but we'll see, because I've looked at the contracts, and like on the Black River one, for example, you have to deliver 3 batches of long logs collected from the same place and delivered to the same place, and that kind of repetition. Once we've done one of them on cam, I'm quite happy to finish the rest of them off cam rather than adding another 2 episodes, but we'll see. It may be a combination of edits / time lapse / just me talking and driving. I won't cut out any major content, but if it's just repetition, I feel it's not a lot of value to the channel to just repeat the same thing. We'll see then. Right, so this is a big experiment for me now. But what I should have done while I was there, so I'm going to detach the trailer real quick. What I should have done is refueled that fuel carrier. Before I came onto the road. Right. Because I don't want to run out of fuel on the way. So we're now down to 242 litres left in that fuel carrier. But we have got the large semi-fuel carrier at the fuel station on this map, so if need be we can redistribute some of that between the 2 of them, because it is handy to have a fuel container at each side of this map. Attach the trailer and attach the winch. Just manoeuvre the camera to get it in the right spot, and then pull that winch in right tight. Because I want it to basically act like it's a tow hitch. I want the winch line to be as tight as it can go, and let it act like it's a tow line. And we'll see how this road train goes. Yeah, okay. Not tried anything like this before. I watched a few episodes of it's Mr. Lone Wolf? Is that the channel name? And he does road trains like this kind of all the time, and usually with a couple of low scouts strapped to the roof rack as well. They're quite funny looking road trains, but very effective. I can see why he likes that low so much, but in hard mode I don't know how useful that tactic will be, because you can't just recover whatever truck you leave in the wilderness. You've got to drive it back. So if you go out with it, you've got to bring it back as well. So I don't know, but yeah, it's definitely entertaining content. This is going pretty slow, isn't it, even on the road? I suppose because you're towing, you do get, there's like a brake effect to towing, isn't there? I don't know, we got a little bit of speed on it. It's got to be quicker than doing 2 trips, right? No, don't be losing control of it and having a mega crash. That would not be good. It's quite a heavy load for the White Western Star. This bit, the P16 would definitely pull better, but I didn't see the point in driving it down and using all that fuel. I'll probably bring one of these trailers back with 4 pallets of cement from the quarry and do the island cement delivery. Not necessarily this episode, we'll see how time goes. Oops. Oh, look at that. Look where you're going. Trying to admire my road train, I got stuck. What an idiot. No, I can't get out. I don't need to get forward very far, do I? I'm nearly there. Oh, what am I doing? Detach the trailer so I can get off this Armco barrier. Damage my engine even more. I was looking over my shoulder to admire how cool my road train was, and drove right off the road at a point where you actually damaged the truck because the Armco barrier was there. I need to reattach that winch, don't I? I'm assuming that tow trailers get pulled, winch trailers get pulled through the gateway with you. Don't know actually. Right. If not, I'll have to take the White Western Star back and get the other trailer. Right, I'm ghosted, which means that's a good sign, because that means that both trailers came through, I think. Because I don't do multiplayer and I haven't done this before with a trailer. That's the first time I've seen that ghosting. That's quite cool. Right, get back in the tractor unit view. Probably a bit of a funny looking edit there, because I just paused for a screenshot. before it got dark on me, so that I can do a road train thumbnail. Because editor Atley gets a bit fed up with driver Atley forgetting to do thumbnails to use. So far, touch wood, so far no audio glitches that I've noticed. Slightest incline kills my momentum though, so the weight of both of these trailers, what goes up must come down, right? So physics, and the physics engine is pretty good in this game. If I'm struggling to go uphill with the weight of these trailers, I need to be really careful going downhill that they don't jackknife me. So that's just, and this is we're still climbing to the peak of the mountain, and then we've got to snake our way down out of it. Some lights on. Oh, help if I remembered that all-wheel drive got disconnected right by the tunnel. You can, the longer train there lets you see the benefit of these dolly trailers. The turning circle of them with dollies means that they basically follow you around the corner rather than trying to take a shortcut the way that semi-trailers do. Let's see if I can do it here without smashing up my truck, but yeah, you see the shape of it. They follow me rather than doing the straight line across corners. You definitely see the benefits of them. And I know that people haul road trains like this in the real world, but there's just I kind of wish that these trailers had a proper tow hitch attachment, because that's a legitimate thing to do. Attach one to the back of another. Feel a bit more secure then. There are two bits of this road where I'm nervous about doing this with two trailers. One is the slightly janky wooden bridge that we had to avoid the wooden bit when we did the oil rig drill. And then the other is the tight, rocky corner where the P16 ran out of fuel in a previous episode. Those are the two bits that I'm a little... Oh, here's the bridge coming up now. So this is one of the choke points that I'm a little bit nervous about. And I might end up doing the same as I did in the Pacific and just ignore the bridge if it looks like the line isn't going to work for me. But if I come into it wide, whack it into low so I can have a diff lock for this bit. If I come into it wide and then take the wide line of the bridge, that does not want to move. Big lock, all drivers on. That's that front trailer is just dug in, isn't it? Let's try back her up a little bit. And see if it will let me. Just a slightly different line might work. And if I can stay as far left on this wooden bridge as possible. That front trailer will be fine. Just gonna So the funny thing about watching some of Mr. Lone Wolf videos is that he'd probably come over that at 40 miles an hour. He drive the lang around, does he? Right, I'm happy with that. That was one of the two choke points I was a little bit nervous about. Bit block off, don't need it on this piece of road. And I think this is more or less the peak, and then we start going downhill now, and you can already tell there's a bit of a slope, so I just need to be careful enough that I don't have my trailers overtake me. Because being overtaken by your trailer is never a good thing. I love the way those trailers are snaking around, it's quite satisfying. And this is working quite well so far. That was definitely me hitting the Armco barrier. Right, this is the other choke point. I'm going wide and I'm hitting the barrier because this is the other point that I thought I might have trouble bringing this through without disconnecting the second trailer and bringing the trailers through one at a time. Getting it to follow this line might be a bit interesting because it's quite a sharp left-hand bend straight after this big rock. But actually the dolly nature of these trailers might make this easier than I thought it would be. That's pretty good, isn't it? Wish we had better light. Because that has come around there. Well, alright, the second trailer is dragging its side along a little bit, but it's come through without dropping its cargo, so I'll take it. So there's the quarry entrance. So we're pretty close now. I think I'm just going to collect the 4 bags of cement that I need, or 4 pallets of cement that I need from the quarry, rather than doing as a comment suggested and getting it from the task, mainly because I don't like where the pallets are for that task. We're getting into the lakes, into the island lake. So I'll just probably, after delivering this, take one of these trailers on this White Western Star, grab 4 pallets and head back to Drummond, deliver 2. and then onwards to Island Lake. It's probably the way I would choose to do it. Is this the load? Yeah, it must be. No, this is the loading area. Yeah, okay, so you can unload one here. And then the other one's on the other trailer. So disconnect the winch, pull this trailer around here, out the way-ish. Camera clipping through the crane. Detach that trailer. Do the next one. So that's $14,000. We're up to nearly $190,000. That's burning a hole in my pocket. I want to buy a truck, but not yet. Okay, had a little think about what there is to do and which vehicles are where. The Fleet Star is nearly full of fuel. I'm going to bring the Fleet Star back up and grab the Cousin Cletus task, because I think that's one that I can do with the Fleet Star. I think it's maybe some oil pallets that need picking up. And the reason that I left the Fleet Star down on this part of on this map is precisely because I felt there were some tasks I would need to do down here with that vehicle. So we're going to come out past our little fuel station, may pick up that trailer. I'll do that off cam probably. Yeah, so we'll come out of here and we'll go and collect the Cousin Cletus task, and then that'll probably be enough to finish out the episode as one of the side tasks plus the contract that we did. I'm really pleased with how that contract went. I wanted to do it that way for a bit of variety, and it worked well. It worked as well as I could have expected. So yeah, it was a different way of doing it with a road train. It was quite interesting. So when I was playing on my normal mode campaign, which I haven't played since I started this hard mode, so I kind of forgot where I was with it. But it was quite interesting because it's got more vehicles, and it made me think a bit more about what vehicle. There's no point having money in the game unless I do at some point buy a truck. At some point I will buy a truck. So it made me think a little bit about what I might buy. Because on that save I've got all of the trucks, all of the LC trucks. And I haven't bought all of the ones that you have to buy, but I've got all the stuff that comes free in your garage for a campaign mode. I am on the right road, aren't I? Yeah. This track leads to Cousin Cletus' house. So I was driving for some of the stuff I was doing for the few hours that I wanted to play test it. I just ran some tasks. I was driving for a bit of it. The what's it called? Oh, the 49X, the Western Star 49X, and It's basically a more modern version of the white Western Star, I think. But it's got the 3 axles with the 3 drive axles. One of them is a lifting axle. And it's really fast. So it motors along well and it gets loads of stuff done. And that's an interesting option to me. But I also went off, because I hadn't done this yet, I went off to Tamir and bought, because I'm level 14 on that account, on that save, and I bought the Azov 5319, and then I put chains on it, and I took it to Alaska, and that thing is a joy, to be fair. It is quite an interesting thing. So, yeah, options. Not sure what to do. Right, so we got to find some oil. I just can see one on the map there, and then there's going to be another one. But it's going to be on a bit that I don't think I can get to with this vehicle so easily. There must be somewhere where you can reach it with a crane. Oh, there it is. Well, that's a horrible location. It looks like it's on the bottom of a cliff. How am I supposed to get that? Oh well, we'll find out, I suppose. That looks like it anyway. Right, so that one, so I'm going to come out and refuel. So I'll come across here, refuel, and then back into the search area. So back here, and see what I can find. But I'll cut out the bit about fueling, because it's just driving to a fuel station. Right. So I'm just coming along the road for a minute so I can try and see where it is. So I can see the oil there. But I won't be able to... Will I be able to winch that from up here, do you think? Can I get a crane on that? So I might have to come out of immersion mode, because immersion mode stops the crane controls from popping up. And the observant of you may have noticed that I pretty much never use the winch in, winch out feature of the crane because I can't remember what the controls are. Right, so now if I do crane mode, why isn't it? Oh, I've got to turn the engine on. Activate the anchor. Crane mode. Right, so lift and lower C and B. I'll have to try and remember that. I remember all the rest of them, so I don't need it for the rest of them. I don't want to be too reckless with this. I don't want to pull my vehicle down the cliff. But looking at the position, I don't fancy trying to come through the gap to get to here and park actually in there. And looking at the position of the other one, I think this is probably the way that you... So C to winch it in. Can't lift at that extension anyway. Can draw it in a little bit. Yeah. So looking at the other one on the map is probably going to be, this is intended to do it this way. Do it from the top of the cliff. Beautiful job. Almost like a crane driver did it. Back cargo, restore crane. Get the camera back to a sensible angle. And I just need to remember C and V, and then I'll be more effective. Right, so engine off. Where's the next one? So there's a couple of ways of getting there. By the look of it, I think I'm going to go over the bridge. There's a trail there that I've never used before. I'm hoping I can get through it with the Fleet Star. To here. I think I'm going to try that. Let's do it. And if I can complete this and then get back to Cousin Cletus, that'll help us get a bit closer to finishing Michigan. Because I could do these side tasks off cam, as I've said before, but like this specific one, for example, is a fairly unique task, and I wouldn't want to do this off cam because I haven't. The stuff that I'm trying to that I cut from the series is basically the repetitive stuff that I've done before. You've seen me do it before. There's nothing exciting or dangerous to it. I'll just get it done off cam so that we can make a bit more progress in the episode. But something like this, where it's unique, finding something on the map that in a part I've never been to, craning something off the top of a cliff which I've never done, that type of content, I want to keep that in the episode basically. I do not necessarily like the look of this. For some reason that bit of terrain also made me think about the third truck that I was playing with on my other campaign save. Is the KRS Bandit. Funny looking little thing, 8-wheel drive, always on, 4-wheel drive, always on diff lock. But it's got a unique loading crane that packs really neatly and a 2-slot cargo bed. And it is quite a versatile vehicle. But I think my decision about which truck to take to Alaska as my first vehicle is largely going to be based on, can it do the same thing this Fleet Star does, which is loading crane plus 2 slots plus a trailer. And a lot of these vehicles can't do that. So the Bandit, I'm pretty sure, if it's got its loading crane on and its 2-slot flatbed, can't do that. And therefore, don't go off the cliff. What on earth? Handbrake on. It's all the way down there. I don't think I'm driving anywhere near getting down to there. I don't think that's a route. Unless you're meant to come across those rocks, you can't quite see. No, that's deep water. No, I think this thing that I'm in the process of doing, but I just need to not go off the cliff. There, don't go any further than that, please. Crane mode, legs down. I don't like this one too much, but we'll see. I might end up dragging it up the cliff rather than craning it, really. That's a long way off, isn't it? Yikes, I do not like that. And I'm not close enough. There we go, that was close enough. Hey, There probably won't be much fuel left in these barrels by the time I've raked it up this cliff. But looking at that from different angles, I don't think that's a road going that way. Yeah, this has got to be the way you're meant to do it. Wow, that was a bit weird. Whether it's the right way or not, I don't know, but it worked. So far. That bit of it worked alright. Now, the question is, how do I get out? Engine off while I look at the map. I don't really fancy pushing on and trying to go back out this way because I know that these rocks are a really tight bend to do. Maybe doable, but I think trying to reverse, turn around and go back out the way I just came in is probably the play. Hopefully without flipping the truck and losing cargo. It's a pretty narrow track I came in on, so I'm not confident about reversing back down it. I would quite like to turn around. This is a wide enough area to turn around, I think. And more importantly, flatten up. Blimey, it almost feels like we've won it. Right, a little bit twisty here to get up. Should be doable though. Then once we're on the road, we beat it back to Cousin Cleo's house. Good old Fleet Star. Didn't let me down at all. Good job. Right, so we're back at the drop-off point for the Cousin Cleo's task. Quite a productive little play session. I quite enjoyed that. A couple of unique things to do that I haven't had to do before. the road train thing I enjoyed a lot, and then winching barrels of oil up a cliff, something I've not done either. So 2 barrels of fuel, 1, 2, $2,000, 340 XP, $190,000 balance, and we are level 16. So why is it? Oh, I guess that's gone bronzy color just because we've reached a 5-star. I don't know what the level cap is in this game. I know it goes into its 20s, but level 16. That's probably unlocked something nice in the garage, but yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, yeah, I enjoyed that. That was a good productive play session. I got lots done. I hope you all enjoyed it as well. I'm going to leave this episode here. And hopefully see you all in the next one. Thank you and goodbye.